Okay, this is poorfortrump@gmail.com. That's poor, POORFORTRUMP at sign, then gmail.com. Our goal is to see at least three uh, um, poor, black, conservative-minded, Republican women who are grandmothers elected to the office of U.S. Senate from one from New York, one from Chicago, and one from another state, maybe California, and have them be poor, have them be all the things we've said, because we believe it's time for the part of our nation that's black to be fully involved in government, and we also want to see 30 congresswomen of that same nature, people who will serve for one term, and then retire and say thank you and give someone else a chance to run. We don't think that the Democratic Party has any interest in helping the blacks or the poor. In fact, we believe very strongly that they're the cause of the problem more than anything else. They created slavery 250 years ago here. When there wasn't slavery here, they brought it. The people that follow their way of thinking and doing brought it here when we didn't have it at first. And then they developed it, and there's always been a group of people coming here to want to use slavery as a way to enrich themselves, or enrich themselves off of the expense of the others. And others who come here because they wanted freedom and they wanted to live free without government control, and they wanted to not be where there was slavery at the very beginning. And these people tend to be conservatives, and they are looking for ways to help other people, not use government. They look for ways to be in the government for the purpose of helping and giving back to the economy and to the world and to the nation what they got by being able to participate freely in business and activities and prosper. And the Democrats are a group of people that want to create. When the Civil War, when the Republicans finally got in, and they were created only to end the oppression of poor blacks called slavery, when they got in, then right away these Democrats started a civil war, and then then Lincoln, God bless him, at the time freed the slaves with an Emancipation Proclamation, and so we always celebrate we always celebrate two dates. January 1st, we recognize that is honoring the first day that blacks were free in this entire country. Lincoln signed it before that, but then it became law on the 1st of January of the year that it was to be enacted upon. And then the other thing, there's I would call it June 18th, which was a day that we celebrate many white persons who created the Republican Party because they wanted to end slavery, because they believed it was immoral. We, the descendants of those persons, want to celebrate this 18th day, which has to do with those issues also. And we do want to see, we don't think that the Democratic approach is right. We don't believe it may be sincere in the hearts of some people doing it, but it's a scheme, it's a game, it's to keep oppressing some people, and they'll benefit by oppressing others. And it also wants to allow things to be legal that are harmful, like smoking pot and abortion. Those are all harmful to a nation. They're harmful to individuals that participate in them. But we do want freedom. We don't want the government deeply involved in persons' lives, except when the persons want to take another life. And in unborn fetus, baby is not a part of a woman's body. It's outside of her body, inside her womb. But there's a hole goes up in there, and if you drew a real picture, you'd see it's not inside the woman's body. It's just being carried inside of an opening and a space in her body, but it's actually outside of the body until it gets born. No, that's the way we see it. You don't have to agree with us, but the easiest way to destroy a nation is to have them not produce 2.4 or higher birth rate. If you have less than that, eventually you're going to lose the entire culture and nation because of not maintaining the births that you need to maintain to keep a culture surviving. And of course, we were in favor of prohibition. We're against when that was ended, and how the Democrats used it for three things: one, to get votes from Europeans who came here wanting to get drunk and live with alcohol in their lives, when we had already decided that it would be a better thing to not have alcohol and bicycles legal at the same time, and then after that, cars. It's ridiculous for the and we want our guns. I don't believe in violence. I don't use a gun, but we want people, the public, to have plenty of arms and ammunition and tanks and everything else, so that if and when these progressive liberals, like Hitler was one, when they finally take over the country, we will have guns and weapons to defend ourselves and to take it back from them, like we did in the Civil War. And about the wall, well, I'll tell you, we need to learn about mob grazing. We need to move 100,000 poor persons into the border of Texas, all the way up across, and give them 50 acres of land or 100, and teach them how to do mob herding or mob grazing, and then let them build a wall where their property is against Mexico, so that, and these people that talk against the wall, they're so stupid. They have a door in their house and they have a lock on it. But it's not okay to have a lock and a door on the entrance to the United States when people are trespassing and they're not following our laws. They're illegal aliens, of what they are. They're foreign aliens. Alien invaders, and I don't care however else you say it, that's what they are. We don't dislike having them here, but they should come in the legal way. If we don't want it to be that way, we can change the law and say anyone can come who wants to come. But the Democrats use it to manipulate and control, and to have it be that when they do come here hiding in, that they can be treated like slaves here. And all these programs that we have that are developed, where things are made in Mexico for 10 cents on dollar an hour, and in China for 10 cents an hour, and then they're able to have to spend so little on things there and sell them here, but we have to spend $15 an hour to have someone do the same work, and we're supposed to be able to compete with them. That's ridiculous. But mob grazing would solve a lot of the problems the Democrats want to solve. Global warming, it'll get us food that's healthy instead of unhealthy. Truth is, you can't really raise grazing animals or eggs or poultry in the United States. They have to be raised in the equatorial regions, tropic regions, where there's enough sunlight for it to do the trick. And you can't feed grains or any kind of seed to chickens. You poison them when you do. But you use the mob grazing technique, and out of 100 acres of land or less, you can make easily $1 million in today's market. If you do that, and it ends the problem of global warming, because most of the global warming comes from using gasoline to take corn and wheat and hay and transport it to over where the animals are that are going to eat it in the barns. That's just completely ludicrous, ridiculous way to follow the European Western culture way of raising food. We need to use this mob grazing and mob herding techniques, which is easy, simple, and much more successful. Nature does the work. You just guide it along. And people, educated or uneducated, can do it. And if we had 100,000 families that are living in the inner cities, and a lot of them would be black and some would be white, and we gave them each 100 acres of land, the government can buy it and give it to them and build a new house for them all the way across the Texas border and the other states all the way across, and let them put up a wall themselves. And that's how we did the Civil War. We volunteered. We Tennessee volunteers. You've heard of them. The people who were against slavery volunteered, and then the people who were for it volunteered to fight in the war. They got paid, but they were there because they wanted to do it. Well, we don't need to get paid by the federal government to build a wall. We can just do it without them paying us. We can go there, build our own wall, and we can make it better that way. And that would make America great for the first time. America could never be great again because it hasn't been great yet. But the Democrats are the reason why it hasn't been great. They don't want it to be great. They want it to be a place where they can be career politicians and get wealthy and manipulate and control the system. And now, unfortunately, too many Republicans have turned that way also, but we have to end that. With the poor people, the black people have to all register Republican and work from the grassroots up to create a situation where there's equality and freedom, and poor people are finally allowed to participate in the government, which until now they've never been allowed, neither in the media, not to have any voice. But we want to stop that and give them a voice.